Today I'm going to give you guys an updated house tour of my 3-bedroom property. So we finally got it fully furnished to a comfortable state, and we've tried to do it as much as possible on a budget. So today I'm going to run through the entire house, show you what everything costs, to give you guys an idea what it might cost to furnish a 3-bedroom property. But before we get into it, we have got a new addition to the household. So this is Domino. She's our new little puppy. She's a little Cocker Spaniel. She's about 5 months old now, and she'll be joining us on the house tour. So with that being said, let's get into it. Now the front of the house hasn't changed whatsoever, so I'm not going to bother show you the front, but as you come into the entrance there have been a few changes. So first off, we now have a coat rack, which was a much needed addition. This didn't actually cost us anything though, because we got scammed on Etsy, so we got refunded for the price. Then we have this shoe cabinet from IKEA, which cost around £80, and it's pretty useful, but obviously it doesn't fit all of the shoes, unfortunately. And then finally we have this little stool which I found on the side of the road, which someone was giving away for free. So I took that and thought it might be useful for something. Then as we move into the downstairs loo, we've made a couple of changes but nothing hugely significant. So we've added a coat rack which was from H&M, which cost about £30. Put in a few plastic plants from Dunelm, and then obviously just the standard toilet roll and towel holders. But yeah, no real changes in here. As we move into the living room, this room is significantly different from before, as it actually has some furniture. The main feature is this huge sofa which I got from a company called Kemrich in London. It cost £3,700, but I think it's totally worth it just because of the sheer size of it. It's about 3.5 metres long and about 2.5 metres wide, and we can fit so many people on it that we don't really need to worry about getting other furniture. Then we got some extra cushions from M&S just to make it look a bit nicer. Got this coffee table on Gumtree for £20, and it's solid oak. Then we have the fake Eames chair which I got on Amazon for about £500. The TV unit I got on Gumtree, which was about 50 quid. The TV itself was about £600, and it's a 65-inch something. Then when we got Domino, we had to make some space to put her crate, so that's her little house. Then moving over towards the dining room, we've got a desk set up which isn't the most aesthetic thing, but it's pretty functional, so me and my girlfriend can both use this desk to work from home. And to be honest, most of this stuff was free. I paid for the desk, which was £40, and pretty much all of the rest of it was paid for by our companies, because obviously they need to provide things so that we can work from home. Then we've got a potted plant, which was my girlfriend's, and then we bought the pot, which was about 40 quid, I think. And then moving over, we have this large IKEA shelf unit. I got this for free from my company as they were giving it away and redecorating their offices, so that was a big win. It's not the most aesthetic thing, but it's functional. We did buy these drawers at the bottom though, which were about 30 quid, and it just makes it look a bit tidier. Then we have the dining table itself, which I got on Gumtree for £50. Again, it's solid oak, and it's not the most beautiful thing, but it matches the coffee table, and it's extendable, which is pretty useful. Then moving into the kitchen, it looks a bit of a mess because we have this round table which really doesn't fit. But basically the story behind it is my friend was moving house and gave it to me for free. I put it there for the time being, and it just ended up being really useful. So we put chairs around it, and we often have dinner there. Now it looks ridiculous, but it's just a functional thing that we both kind of like, so we've kept it. So the chairs for this table and the dining table were actually all free as well. So I got these from my company again when they were redecorating. Now after we realised there was space for this island setup, we have now made plans in the near future to build a proper kitchen island ourselves, which will have a nice stone countertop, overhang with like a breakfast bar, and some cabinets underneath for the storage which we desperately need. New builds are great, and I don't regret buying this property whatsoever, but it is a bit tight on space, so you have to be very organised. In the kitchen, we haven't had to spend a huge amount of money. We got a chalkboard for about £30, spice rack, probably about £20. Other miscellaneous things, they do add up, but probably the most expensive thing was my coffee machine, which was about £450. Toaster, kettle, probably about £20 each. The microwave I had at uni, so that wasn't an extra cost. Obviously we needed to buy knives, which are quite expensive, and a cutlery set, which again is quite expensive, and obviously crockery, things like that. So those things do all add up, and probably about £500 all in for all of that. But we haven't spent a lot of money on this sort of thing, so like the crockery sets are all from Next. Glasses and stuff like that were all from M&S, which again are really quite cheap. The one thing we did spend money on was the cutlery set, because obviously it's nice to have a decent cutlery set because it's going to last you pretty much forever. So I thought that was worth spending money on. This is a small house, so in the cupboard under the stairs we've tried to utilise the space as much as possible. We have some Amazon floating shelves on the door which work quite well. I think all in they're about 40 quid. And then we've got some trolleys in here from Dunelm which are about 20 quid each. Then obviously had to buy mops, brooms, all that sort of stuff, which again aren't that expensive. This was a new build property, so it came with a fridge, dishwasher, washing machine. But the most expensive thing we purchased was this water softener. In the area that we live in, the water quality is so poor. It's such hard water. So after moving in, I realised that limescale was just building up ridiculously quickly. And I thought it was worth spending the money on getting a water softener so that it wouldn't destroy all of the appliances that are brand new and clog up all the pipes of the limescale. The water softener was not cheap, and it cost £1,500 and probably about £5 a month for salt that you have to put into it. But I just think it's so worth it, and since installing it, we've had to clean so much less. Then moving outside, we have a sleeping puppy on the floor. And obviously it's a bit of a mess out here because we've just got some towels on the floor to basically dry the dog's feet when she comes in wet. Outside though, not much has changed. We've got a barbecue which was £250, and we got on a great deal which was 50% off earlier in the summer. I have this dining set which I got free from one of my friends who was moving house and just wanted rid of it. The shed was here when I moved in, but the only other thing we had to purchase was this outdoor garden store because the shed just isn't big enough to fit all of the things we need. We also had to buy a lawnmower to cut the grass. So the garden store was about £240 and the lawnmower I think was about £200 as well. But as the garden goes, really nothing else has changed and we really haven't spent any money on it. But we do have plans in the future to landscape the entire thing and potentially build a garden office across the back. Moving upstairs into the landing, we haven't really spent any money in here whatsoever. I did buy some curtains and a curtain rail. We got a coffee table which was free, which we kind of need to get rid of because it doesn't fit in the house. But maybe we'll find a use for it somehow. We have some paintings which were free and my girlfriend's mirror from where she was living before. Obviously when you buy a house you need to get Hoover as well, so that was about £200. Then moving into the spare room, we have what was supposed to be my office, but it just ended up being a bit small. So we swapped this room for the bigger bedroom. And this just has an IKEA bed, which was about £200, £200 for a mattress as well, and probably about another £100 for all the bedding. Embarrassingly, we haven't got curtains in here at the moment, and when people come to stay, we just basically swap them from the office room, but we should probably just purchase some curtains. We have this little desk as well, which my girlfriend uses as kind of like a dressing table, and she had this before she met me, so it didn't really cost anything. And the mirror was also free from someone getting rid of it. We have a coat rack in this room as well, which isn't ideal, but again, it's just extra storage space. The coat rack again was from my office, and so I got that for free. So also upstairs, we have the office. Now this is the room I film all of my videos in, and me and my girlfriend both use this desk as a hot desk if we're working from home. And basically the other half of the room is just a dumping ground for extra stuff that we don't quite know what to do with yet. So we have a drawer unit, big bag of dog food, an old TV, an old desk, and all that sort of stuff. Now the things in here are mostly just things that we don't use, but I did purchase the desk for about £40 from IKEA. I've got a printer under there which I got free from my office because they were getting rid of it and I wanted to take it. The TV is very old and I've had it forever. The chair was also free from someone getting rid of it as they were refurnishing their house. We have this shelf unit which is my girlfriend's and she got that on Amazon for about 40 quid. We've got a plastic plant from Dunelm which was about 35 quid and probably another 20 quid for the pot. And then we've just got my guitars and stuff. Then moving over to our desk, I have made a whole video on this, going through the whole build process, what it all costs, and I actually think it's probably the best bang for your buck sit-stand desk that you can get. It's made of solid oak and it only cost me £300. We've got this plastic mat for the chair to sit on to basically save the carpet, which was about £40. The chair was free from my girlfriend's company, basically to allow her to work from home comfortably. And then we've got all my other filming stuff. A bit embarrassingly, I've got a picture of myself on the wall, which my brother did when he was doing GCSEs. We've also got some clothes areas, which we just don't really have a great place to store them. So they just live in here while we're not drying clothes. We did also upgrade the light fixture in here, which cost about 20 quid from B&Q. But because this is a north-facing room, I thought it was important to upgrade the light fitting in here, rather than just have the standard pendant light that was here before. Then moving across the landing, we come into the main bathroom, which really hasn't changed much at all. We did buy this mirror from Dunelm, which was about 25 quid. We obviously had to buy the standard toilet roll holders, toilet brushes and bin, so it's probably about 30 quid for all of that stuff. And then the only other thing we've got in here is the dehumidifier. So we got this recently for £240, and the reason for it was basically just to try and dry clothes. The number of times I put on a wash, hang out all of the clothes in the bathroom with the window open, and they just don't dry and they start smelling like damp. So I did a bunch of research and came to the conclusion that getting a dehumidifier would be the best solution. And honestly, it's been the perfect solution for us because we don't really use this bathroom, so we just hang up all of the clothes in here, shut all the doors and windows and put the dehumidifier on. Leave it for about 6 hours, come back, all the clothes are dry and smelling fine. Now finally, we come into the master bedroom. So the biggest change we've made in here is building the IKEA Pax wardrobe, which honestly was a game changer. It's given us so much extra space. This whole unit cost about £600, fully custom, and was super easy to build. If you're interested in watching the entire build process, I'll leave a link on screen now. Then we have this chest of drawers, which I got on Gumtree for about £50, which I think is an absolute bargain. And then this built-in wardrobe was already here when I bought the house. We haven't bothered to buy proper bedside tables yet, so we've still got this £5 IKEA coffee table and this coffee table, which we were given for free from someone who was just getting rid of it. Then we have the bed itself. So the bed frame cost about £200. Then we bought a slightly nicer mattress, which was probably about £300. And then for all of the sheets, duvets, pillows, stuff like that, that's probably another £150. We got this wash basket on Amazon for about £25. And then we have the curtains, which cost about £70. In this room, we still have the pretty unsightly hanging pendant lights, which we will upgrade at some point. It just doesn't seem that worth it at the moment. And then finally, we have the ensuite bathroom. In here, the biggest purchase was this mirror cabinet, which was £80, but we kind of needed it just for extra storage space. And then we've probably got about £30 worth of other storage containers across the top. This plastic plant was about £85 when I purchased it, which is quite expensive, but I just wanted something to make it feel a bit more exciting in here. In here we had to purchase the standard toilet roll holders, toilet brush, towel rail, and those probably came to about £30. Then we have the towels, bath mat and hand towels, which were about another £50. But there you go, that shows you the entire furnished house, which we definitely have done on a budget. I've gone through everything and added up all of the costs, and the total for furnishing the entire property came to just over £12,000. I really don't think that's too bad, especially when you consider the sofa is about a quarter of that cost. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Do you think this is on the higher end or actually the cheaper end? And also let me know what you guys think about the aesthetic. Do you think it looks okay considering the budget, or do you think it just looks a bit of a mess? Either way, let me know down below. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Please do me a favour and drop a like down below if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button as well, and I'll see you in the next one.